Hello Internet, this is Grid Zeta, or Zeta for short, formerly known as Skyhound 008, coming back to you with part 2 of my in-depth analysis of this graphic novel sequel to Power Rangers Time Force. Now in part 1, I did briefly go over albeit a little bit rushed, about what Act 1 was about. And just to be clear, this review does contain spoilers, and if you do not want to be spoiled about it, go to your local comic book shop or bookstore and get this comic. Now, in part 1, I did briefly go over how Jen Scotts was trying to supposedly train for the commander position of Time Force, but her Commander Logan, wanted her to be a instructor instead to Hyperforce Academy. Now, to be clear, Jen and Wes are trying to make their long-distance relationship work, but unfortunately, their first date didn't go so well since they got attacked by Time Force Black. So she returns back a bit late, despite having missed her report window, so to speak. And she goes back to Katie's place, but instead of being able to meet up with her, she unfortunately gets confronted by her friends and was told a bunch of lies, even though she's trying to explain the situation. That being said, just as things are about to go south, along comes a different Nadira. And here is reference number 2 to Hyperforce, as this Nadira addresses Jen as Professor Scotts. So here we get another established link to Hyperforce and to Jen's future path, if you will. And as Nadira points out in the second page here after this, she is from the future. So after saving Jen, and as the two embark on trying to figure out what the hell's going on in the past, we see Eric trying to console Wes after having to quote-unquote break up with Jen. But the two have to report to Silver Gardens HQ as the two try to piece together what the hell's going on, until they get attacked by, again, Time Force Black. Now again, with part 1, I did mention about anatomy for obvious reasons and how I know it is female. So for those of you guys that are being obnoxious, for the love of the morphing grid, shut it. As it so happens, due to the indirect problems of Black, Jen experiences a bit of a time shift in and of itself. And one brief bit of information that this Nadira brings up is this letter by Wes. This in turn causes Jen to pull off something literally crazy, having to break into Time Force headquarters, to which Nadira finds it ridiculous. But considering this Nadira is different, she decided to go a little bit crazy herself in terms of trying to break in. It is from here we see a shift in point of view from Jen to Time Force Black. And in reference to episode 1 of Time Force, you can see here that this Ranger has a connection to Alex. That being said, going back to breaking into Time Force HQ, we see that the stuff that Jen experiences here are known as chronoskips, according to Nadira. And as I said before, with regards to Hyperforce, this I would say is reference number 3, because of the fact that this place likely becomes the classroom / headquarters of Hyperforce, and of course Jen being the leader and the instructor, she eventually runs the place. As a result, as the two continue on, we see here that Jen kind of recollects what happens and explains it to Nadira. And on this page here, you can see that on this particular section, it is literally a repeat of what was shown on the first page when I first started part 1. As a result, Time Force Black tracks her down and the two Rangers hash it out. And obviously we see here that Time Force Black is falsely accusing Jen of something that she didn't do. And of course, Jen, being the strong-headed but cool leader that she is, if it's me you want, don't let anyone else get hurt, and it's just between us. And as we go down a little further, they go through a time stream in terms of the fight going on. And despite Black's false accusations, Jen simply points out that if you gave me a chance to explain, I wouldn't have to resort to this. So this results in them going through various time warps and Jen having to point out, I'm not the one causing it. Time is breaking down all around us. As a result, as Jen is trying to figure things out, this leads Jen to one final option. Jen is trying to ask for answers, and then Black keeps going about the same old spiel. This then causes her to do the only drastic thing left. If you're not going to tell me, I guess I'll have to see who's under the helmet. It is here we find out her name is Syra, and she is the sister of Alex. So over here, it kind of goes through the whole reason as to why she was so angry at Jen. But as a result, Jen understands what the hell is going on, and as a result, she has to say that whatever Syra went through, basically, Jen would say that the Alex that they both know, he would have been proud of them both. And she tries to reconcile with Syra, successfully does so, and then it gets to where part 3 will eventually start. Nadira takes a look at the morpher that Syra owns, and lo and behold, we get reference to Dr. Ferrix, aka Frax, from the original show itself, and most fans would say the true villain of Time Force. But that being said, I will end this part of Act 2 right here. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you do, please hit the like button and feel free to share it. And that being said, this is Grid Zeta signing off for now, and may the power protect you.